Well, welcome back to the Transformation Trek. You have reached part 4 of an exploration on gratitude. And I have really loved this practice. And I hope you have too. I hope you have found it transformative for your life. That is the point of this thing. I hope you found it refreshing. I hope, although simplistic in kind of the concept, I hope it's been profound when it's played out in your life. The view of gratitude, the idea of the view comes from the idea that we all bring a lens to life. We all are seeing the world through our experiences, through our value system, through our belief system. We see the world, we color it, if you will, with our own lens. And whether you're curious or for most of us, we're seeking to follow Jesus, one of the aspects of that is wanting to see the world through his lens. And we think a great tool to develop that perspective, those lenses, is gratitude. A grateful heart, as we've explored, a grateful mind, practicing gratitude, a view of gratitude. And I hope that's been your experience as you've unpacked this, as you've developed a more grateful outlook on life. As I've reflected over the last couple of videos, couple of weeks exploring this, I've thought through what we've discussed so far. And I kind of had an epiphany as I approached this video. I've realized that the content discussed so far, not counting the obviously verses you've discussed through the practice guide, I'm talking about just the advice or the encouragement given could be used anywhere. It's not explicitly Christian. It could be used in a school, it could be used in a university, it could be developed into some sort of TED talk. It's just a good old advice on being more thankful. And that's not bad. Whatever's true and good is true and good. So I'm not ashamed of that. However, it did make me realize that there's one aspect of following Jesus that maybe hasn't been fully fleshed out, and I'm hoping to do that now. You see, the passage you're going to explore this week through the practice guide talks about perspective. Talks about not just viewing your life as just the fleeting moment it is, but looking at gratitude and thankfulness in line with eternity. Looking about and exploring what comes next. What is in that mysterious void known as the afterlife, as whatever is next. What is waiting for us? And it's a scary question at times. Even for those that have a good idea, it's still unknown and scary. As we think about how short-lived this life is, how it just goes like that. The Bible kind of explains it like a puff of smoke, a vapor, is life. And so when you look at life like that, what an incredible encouragement that this passage and really the whole Bible brings to say, hey, even amongst with that big and wide perspective on life, we can still be filled with gratitude. Let me explain. We have everyday gratitude we can practice. Even if we have nothing, we have breath in our lungs. We have creation. We have seasons. We have things that we can enjoy. We have friends. We have food. We have lots of different reasons to be grateful. And hopefully through this practice so far, you have expressed thankfulness to those people and to God for creating those things, to bringing them into existence. However, if you know the gospel story, you know that although the world has images or is created in the image of God, we are created in the image of God. So there's good and beautiful moments, absolutely. But we know that we have also brought destruction as we've kind of defied the intent of creation, defied and rebelled against the ways of God, Yahweh, as he is known. And because of that, things have got pretty rough. Things have got pretty gross. Things have been destroyed. Destruction is the fruit, or as it says in the Bible, is the wages of sin is death. And so there's lots of destruction in our world at the moment. Lots of hard times for many people. And the Bible tells us that Jesus, or that is why Jesus, who was there at the beginning, who was part of the creation story, who is part of the good and beautiful things that you can be thankful for, but became flesh to show us the ways, show us a good and beautiful way to live, but also as the ultimate example gave his life up for multiple reasons. one to pay the price, to pay off that destruction that was the end result. You know, the philosophy of karma is you'll get what's coming to you. What comes around goes around. And I don't believe in karma. I believe in Jesus, which is he gets what's coming around. He paid the price. I won't get what I deserve. He got what I deserve. And therefore, in some cosmic level, he's paid the price. Not only that, he's freed me. So I don't have to be weighed down by the fleeting hardships and destruction in this life. I can look to him as what comes next. He brings me hope. He brings me gratitude. He makes not just my mind grateful, not just me, doesn't just give me the ability to act out and embody gratitude, but he gives me a grateful soul. I know when I go to bed, no matter how hard the day has been, no matter how hard the week has been, no matter how rough my entire life has been, at the end of the day, at the end of my life, it is still well with my soul. It is steady in the storm. What a transformative way to view the world. What a transformative way to live each day with that level of steady gratefulness. I'm not saying with that level of fake happiness. I'm not happy all the time. I'm sad. I get angry. I make mistakes. I'm imperfect. I'm not talking about some sort of fake thanks, as we've talked about in previous weeks. I'm talking about a deeply growing gratitude that sits below it all, that gets me through this life, that changes me from my soul level out. And so that's what we're exploring in this final part, the ultimate gratitude, having a grateful soul. That's what we're asking each other. If you're doing this, if you're exploring this online, or if you're exploring this with other people, we want you to ask a few questions as we finish up with this practice in this season. And my first question is, what do you have to be thankful for, even on the worst days? Kick that around whoever you're discussing this with. Hey, even on the most horrendous, gross days, what do you still have to be thankful for? What can you still thank God for? The next question is, what have you liked about this practice? What will you take into your everyday life? What will you take ongoing after this season? What have you learned about a view of gratitude that you want to continue on in life? What type of practices, what type of habits? In fact, if you create some habits that we haven't discussed, please, if you're watching this on social media, comment, email us, transformationtrek.online. Let us know. We would love to hear the creative and inspired ways that you are developing a view of gratitude. And so we'd love for you to kick those questions around. What can bring you gratitude? And then my last question I'd love for you guys to ask is, what do you think it does to someone? What do you think changes in someone's life? What do you think develops? What do you think builds? What do you think grows in someone's life when they start to develop a grateful soul? When they look to God, who is in control of it all, who has saved us, who has brought us back to him, back home. What does it look like to develop that more and more each day? What does that do to a person? What do you think it does to a person? I'd love to hear your response to that. Hey, thanks so much for joining us in this season. I look forward to exploring in the next one, and we'll see you there.